Yo, welcome to the Jaime D Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST. Yes, this is a real live morning radio show. Hey, look, no offense to podcasts. I support and love podcasts, but I need to remind y'all that radio is still alive. Yes, support. Y'all have no clue how long it's taking me to get to the spot. Support me. Welcome in, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you here on this Taco Tuesday. For those who are just now joining in, I see that we have so many new people supporting me today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're not able to listen on the live morning radio broadcast here in Las Vegas, you're able to tune into our live video stream every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at The Jaime D Show. That's TheJaimeDeeshow. And again, it's from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST. So let's get right into it. On today's show rundown, I have the daily news headlines. Then we're going to talk about, does social media affect relationships? And Mark Hayes, our general manager of KSHP and radio personality for KSHP, will join to talk about, how is radio faring in today's society? Is it still important? What is the history behind KSHP? Where did he get his start in radio and more? So make sure to stick around because we have so much to discuss on this live morning radio broadcast. So let's get into it. So this guy named Larry Nazar, who was the disgraced sports director who was convicted of sexually abusing female gymnasts, was stabbed multiple times in a federal prison in Florida, according to a report by the Associated Press. I'm not sure if you guys remember the story, but this man was taking advantage of these young women and he found himself in jail. So you guys may hate me for saying this. You may drag me for saying this. Now, but before I say this, actually, let me preface that I do not condone violence. I don't. I really don't. But I also don't support people like this individual who are actively hurting individuals, sexually abusing and harassing individuals, and putting people in a place where they're going to have to deal with trauma for the rest of their lives. Whatever happens to this individual in jail, happens to this individual in jail. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all may drag me for that, but I said what I said. I meant what I meant. Some people don't deserve to be in jail, while others do. Some people don't deserve to be hurt in jail. Some people deserve what comes to them. I'm going to just leave it at that. It is what it is. Hey, health professionals are being urged to use the term bonus holes when referring to female body parts, aka vaginas. I can say that, right, Mark? Okay, making sure. I was like, hold on, he didn't twitch yet. But yes, health professionals are being urged to use the term bonus holes when referring to vaginas in order to avoid offending transgender or non-binary patients, according to the Daily Mail. This suggestion was made by a charity group called Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust, which aims to provide more information and support for health professionals treating patients with cervical cancer, per this news outlet. Now, hear me out, and hear me out loud and clear. I support every community. I say this all the time. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, blue, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, Native American, gay, straight, bi, lesbian, trans, pans, demi, whatever you want to be, as long as you're not hurting yourself, others, or animals. I don't care what it is you want to be, who you are, or what you're figuring out. However, while I love all communities, oh my gosh, this is all becoming too much. Our society is doing too much. I am all for inclusivity. I am all for having everybody feel welcome and having everybody feel supported. But we should also not be trying to erase history and make people who already feel uncomfortable more uncomfortable for another group to feel comfortable. That makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. And I also believe that a lot of times there are people outside of the LGBTQIA plus community who are quote unquote making these rules and quote unquote making these suggestions and are speaking out for the LGBTQIA plus community. And it's making that community look worse and look crazy and look over controlling and not look inclusive. And why do I say that? Because why are we calling vaginas bonus holes? There's no reason to call vaginas bonus holes. If you want to call yourself a trans woman, a trans man, a cisgender woman, a cisgender man, by all means, do whatever it takes for you to find your happiness and your peace. But also, don't try to strip away something from somebody or a different group just because you want to feel like you are helping another group out. Again, this was not suggested by the LGBTQIA plus community. This was not suggested by a community who is truly on the ground pushing for LGBTQIA plus rights. And so I highly urge individuals who are making these suggestions, who are getting their names in the headlines. So remember, you're speaking for a whole community, and sometimes you don't need to. There's absolutely no reason for us to be calling women's vaginas bonus holes. I love all people, and I understand that some people want to feel like they're part of a group and they're part of a community. But there's only so much you can truly do without stripping things away from naturally born women or women who were assigned female at birth. I support everybody. But if you want to feel included, then you need to make sure the original group still feels included. If you want to feel heard, you need to make sure the original group still feels heard. So taking away part of their history is not okay. And again, this is not coming from the LGBTQIA plus community. This is coming from a group called Joe's Cervical Cancer. So before you guys start trying to attack the gay community, remember, everything doesn't come from the Black community. Everything doesn't come from the gay community. Everything doesn't come from NAACP. Everything doesn't come from NAN. Everything doesn't come from the LGBTQIA plus community. So before you start attacking that community and saying that gay people are so offensive and they're so sensitive, everything's not coming from that community. So again, remember, you make a lot of people look crazy when you try to speak up for a group that you're not a part of, that you're not actually helping out, and that you don't have the true history behind. In other news, y'all really need to leave people the hell alone. Leave people the hell alone. And why do I say this? Because y'all content creators are doing the most. Social media really has y'all out here acting a freaking monkey. A whole fool. A YouTuber almost gets into a fight while insulting a random woman as a prank. A young Black woman walks up to another young Black woman and she starts arguing with this girl out of nowhere. This innocent girl's on her phone and she's like, "Why you walk out of this restaurant without buying something? Go back in there and buy something. Where are you supposed to be at? What's wrong with you? Do you know who I am? You want to?" She said, "Is you trying to get put to sleep?" And the other girl, rightfully so, in my opinion, was like, "What's up?" And the YouTuber's gonna be like, "Oh, square up." And the other girl squared up. And she was like, "What's up? What you want?" And then the YouTuber's like, "No, this is a joke. It's a joke." And to be honest, again, I don't condone violence, but if that YouTuber would have got dragged, it would have served her right. I am so tired of y'all doing things for clout. I am so tired of y'all doing things just for views. Leave people alone. Everything is content, but everything does not need to be content. I'm going to say it again. Everything is content, but everything does not need to be content. Leave people alone. Please. Y'all are irritating. Just for some views. And for y'all out there supporting these things, remember, every like, every comment, every share aids in promoting this type of behavior. Aids in these big companies supporting this type of behavior. This is why a lot of rappers y'all don't like are famous, because y'all likes, comments, and shares. Let me tell y'all this. Y'all be so quick to like, comment, and share all this other mess, but won't do that for your friends. You know how many people I texted today asking to help subscribe to my YouTube and support my journey on the radio? And I didn't get no responses, or people just liked the message or didn't fully read it or didn't subscribe. Hey, and some, how do I say this? In some celebrity news, but also now political news. As reported by CNN, actor Hill Harper, who is best known for his roles on The Good Doctor and CSI New York, announced his U.S. Senate bill in Michigan. We're seeing more and more today that actors, comedians, rappers, and other artists are running for office. I think anybody and everybody should be allowed to run for office if they meet the qualifications, if they have the experiences, and if they have the American people and they have the American people and their well-being at heart. However, I really want you guys to understand, I say this all the time, be sure about who you're voting for. Pay attention to who's running for what position. Just because somebody's a celebrity, just because somebody's exciting and cool, does not mean they believe in what you believe in, does not mean they support what you support, and does not mean that they're going to be great for our community. I went to a NAN event last night, and if you don't know what NAN is, NAN actually stands for the National Action Network. And I went to the Las Vegas chapter meeting last night because I was invited by some mayoral candidates. And one mayoral candidate by the name of Kara Jenkins said, we are voting for people who we think we know, and I'm not saying this verbatim, but she said it in a sense of like, we're voting for people we think we know, we're voting for people who think we have our best interests at heart. But a lot of times we don't remember how the people we vote for have power over other seats that we don't pay attention to. And so what she meant by that is, remember, your president that you vote for assigns your Supreme Court justices, the same ones who just struck down affirmative action, the same ones who made it okay for business owners to tell LGBTQAI plus customers that they don't want to serve them. Remember, pay attention to who's running for office, and don't just vote for somebody because they're a name or because you think they'll be better than this other person. Actually do your research. All power to Hill Harper. I don't know what his issues that he's going to be tackling are. I don't even know who he is, to be honest. I've never seen him on TV, never heard of his name until now, but more power to him. Hopefully he is fighting for the rights of the actual human people. And some Las Vegas news. I know y'all love talking about this. The Nevada State Police got a pay raise this month. Yeah, you heard me right. The Nevada State Police got a pay raise this month. I know a lot of y'all are screaming, defund the police. Well, they got a raise. And they're hoping it would help with their staffing shortage. We are seeing a huge staffing shortage around America right now as it pertains to police departments. They say that we're understaffed right now, but we're working on it with all of our new incentives that we're getting in our pay raise, said Officer Douglas McCarty with the Nevada Department of Public Safety. He also stated that they're hoping the new salary will keep the current staff and attract more recruits to fill the gaps. As well, he said, what we will start off with is highway patrol or probation officer, and we're trying to hire as many as we can, said Officer McCarthy. We have an average of 6 a shift. We could bump that to at least 10 a shift. That's the goal. The 23% pay raise for Nevada State Police passed by legislators went into effect July 1st. Now, I don't know about y'all. I see a lot of police in Vegas. I will say I lived in 9 major cities so far, and I didn't really see many police in Dallas. I didn't see many police when I lived in LA. I saw a lot in DC. I saw a lot in Atlanta. Saw a lot in Miami, and I saw a lot in Chicago. Didn't really see that much in Raleigh, North Carolina. But the last few cities I've lived in, LA, Vegas, and Dallas. Not really any in Dallas. There's way too much dang crime in LA for them to even have enough. There's crime like literally every 5 seconds. And here I see so many police officers. So I don't know how much more they need. But hey, if they need some, get it. But please train these police officers right. Don't just throw money at these people. A lot of people do not need to be in power. A lot of people don't need to be police officers. A lot of y'all don't even need to be security guards because y'all take stuff way too far. Look at how Britney Spears got herself slapped. But no, for real. A lot of y'all don't need to be in positions of power. So I pray that these police departments are truly screening their applicants and put these police officers where they're actually needed. Don't put them around me because I'll be trying to drive. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. You're now tuned into the Jamie D Show live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. I'm live every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST. Hey, this is a real live morning radio show. If you're trying to advertise your business, if you're trying to get your music played, If you're trying to get on the show, hit us up. We got you. You got to have some valuable content, but we got you. Hey, stick around because when we come back, we're going to have a great conversation about, does social media affect relationships? Do you agree that there's positive effects? There's negative effects? Do you say no? Stick around. You can always call in at 702-221-7283 to be a part of the conversation. Again, the number to call in is 702-221-7283. And we're talking about if social media affects relationships. I'll be right back. You're tuned into the Jaime D Show. Stay right there.
Zen World Premium CBD offers full and broad-spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in-store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Mole's Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Mole's was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
At AR Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Zen World Premium CBD offers full and broad-spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in-store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
And we're back. Welcome to the Jaime D Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST. Yes, a live morning radio show. Welcome in to everybody who's watching live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime D Show. I'm so grateful to have you all here. For those who are just now tuning in, I already went over the daily news headlines. I go over them every day. But now we're going to get into some social issues because I find this to be a really big social issue. I personally believe that social media truly affects relationships. We're talking about that today. Do you believe social media affects relationships? Let me know. Call in at 702-221-7283 and let me know if you think social media affects relationships. Again, 702-221-7283 or comment on the YouTube. I know a lot of you guys are in the office right now. Comment on the YouTube at the Jaime D Show. That's TheJaimedee SHOW. Yes, let's get into it. Personally, I believe social media affects relationships. I believe they affect relationships more negatively than they do positively, but I'm gonna get into both. I think the negatives are it can affect how much you reach out to people in real life. So, what I mean by that is you watch people's stories so much that you truly believe that you're in tune with their lives. You know what's going on, you know how they're feeling, and you don't reach out to them. You think because I watched your stuff, because I've liked your post, because I've commented, that's me reaching out to you. That's me keeping up to date in your life. That's me being current in our friendship. And I disagree. Because you are watching my stories, liking my content, I appreciate it. That's support. But that don't mean you know what's going on in my life. That don't mean you know how I'm feeling right now. That don't mean the turmoil. You don't know if I'm going through turmoil right now. Just because you see that I have a live morning radio show and I've been striving for this position for over 8 years now, that doesn't mean that I'm happy. That doesn't mean that everything is going well. You don't know what's going on in my life. Hey, shout out to Willie Toy Jr. who just tuned into the YouTube. What up? What up? What up? All the way from Dallas. But yeah, when you are just watching me on social media, you don't know what's going on. You don't know if I'm broke. You don't know if I am happy. I could be amazing, but you don't know because you think, oh, I'm watching your social media account that I know everything that's going on. People also assume they know your whole life. I hate that. Hate it. I really want y'all to know I post whatever I want you to see. I don't post all my stuff that I'm going through. I don't post all the stuff that is positive either. For example, when I went to the BET Awards and when I went and did my live morning radio show from Essence Fest, I didn't post all the behind the scenes. I didn't post all the huge name celebrities I met, hugged, hung out with, went to the house. I don't post all that stuff. Y'all don't even know the huge celebrities I've hung out with privately or dated. But you assume because of what I post, Jaime must be happy, he's successful, and all he does is party. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. That's the biggest one. I hate that. Oh, Jaime, all you do is party. Actually, I don't. I be in my house majority of the times. I be lonely majority of the times. For real, for real. Y'all may not believe it, but I post what I want you to see. And y'all see what y'all want to see. And that's another thing, too, that I really hate about social media. When I do try to post like a day in my life or this is what I'm doing at home or this is what I do more often, I don't get all those views. So people can't even assume because people don't even get to see the content because social media is a business now. It sucks. Social media can also start a bunch of unnecessary beefs in your relationships. What I mean by that is, oh, I texted you, but you didn't respond back to me because you was on social media. Why didn't you respond back to me? You was on social media. Sometimes I don't see your message. Sometimes I didn't want to respond back. So it's like you gotta duck people because they see you on social media. They kind of like, why? I know you was on your phone. Why didn't you respond back? I mean, I will say this though. If I saw your message, I'll be honest. Like, hey, I didn't feel like talking, or hey, I was busy, or hey, I had to handle this first, so I didn't respond back to you. I'll be honest. But a lot of people aren't honest and they'll lie about it or they'll get offended. And I can understand why. But I'm also that type of person who'd be like, you was on social media, you can respond back to my text. I saw that. I know that you saw my phone call. I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of those people, but I can also understand why people just don't want to be bothered. Your friends can also get you in trouble. You can get you in trouble with your family, your significant other, your other friends, your jobs by posting too much of you or the wrong things of you. You smoking that weed, you drinking that liquor, you touching up on that person you shouldn't be touching up on when you're in a relationship. Social media can affect y'all relationships for real, for real. And sometimes, just like John Morant, it's affecting his relationship with the world in the NBA because people keep putting him on social media with guns in his hands. Social media could get y'all in trouble. And I'm telling y'all, people get bothered when they see somebody on social media posting and commenting, but have yet to receive a text back or a phone call back. And I'm one of those people. I get irritated when I see that. I'm working on it. There are also so many attractive people on social media. You can get caught up in a purposeful or accidental cheating situation. Majority of times more purposeful, but if you see my face, accidents happen. I've never cheated. I'm not a cheater. People go through things. People have things happen. It is what it is. Sometimes it could be accidental, but majority of times it's purposeful. Let's call a spade a spade. So yeah, it can get you caught up. There's so much you can find and get and grab from social media. It can get you caught up. You can get it. Let me tell you, what you're not receiving from your bae at that moment, you can find from somebody on social media in a heartbeat. It can also really consume your everyday life by keeping you from spending valuable time with your family, friends, or significant others because you're always on your phone. Let me tell y'all, I love the resource of social media. I love being able to use it. Again, if you guys have any responses, call in at 702-221-7283 and tell me your opinions. But I'm gonna be honest, I get really consumed by social media as well. I really do. And I don't be sleeping sometimes because I'll be like, oh, let me catch up on social media. Let me see what my friends are doing. Let me respond back to these messages and these DMs and all these forward memes my friends sent me. And I'll be seeing myself up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to be up by 7. Sometimes you can get really consumed by social media, and it's hard. Again, calling at 702-221-7283. I see we got somebody on the line too. Give me 1 second. I'll get right to you. Also, your life turns into I must always get content versus just enjoying what real life brings. You also start expecting more from people based on false realities of social media. So those are the negatives I've come up with. The positives, it keeps you connected to people you don't get to see and talk to every day. You can connect with people through memes. You can make and meet new friends or significant others. You can also learn a lot of ways on how to treat your partner on social media or get introduced to a lot of events to take people on and new skills you can implement in your daily life and relationships. So there's a lot of positives as well. But I personally think that there's more negatives, especially when we don't know how to use relationship. We don't know. First of all, we don't even know how to handle relationships now. But now that we have social media, it makes it even harder. Willie Toy Jr. says it's like a sense of entitlement. And you're not wrong. It is. People feel like they're entitled to your time. And like I said, I'm working on it. Ashana Newbie says social media can be addictive. Have to live a more mindful life. It can add balance. And I will say I definitely live a very mindful life, which is why I don't post as much. But when I'm sitting down in my bed and I pull out my phone, that's when I get consumed. Hey, we have Rick on line 2. Thank you for calling in. And we got Fancy. My bad, Fancy. My bad, friend. I forgot. My bad, Fancy. I forgot you go by Fancy. I just read your name real quick. But I appreciate you for calling in. Rick, you're listening to the Jamie D Show live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. What's up, Rick? What's your thoughts?
Hey, Jamie D. First-time caller. I listened to your show since it started. What, about a month ago, 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, just made a month.
Congratulations.
Thank
Couple
you,
things for you.
Yeah.
Did you run out of guests? Because you've had Mark Hayes on like 3 times this week.
No, actually, I do have more guests coming in, especially this week. I have a very, very important guest, but I did want to take a break just because I wanted you guys to get to understand me more and also the radio show more.
Okay, got you. Number 2 is, I'm really glad that I listened to your show on the toilet. Because I don't get anything you do or what you talk about. I get no idea about your topics. You're just all over the board. You ring this bell like you're Dr. Demento.
Okay, what else?
Yeah, it's really not a good show.
Okay. Hey, well, I appreciate it. Hey, Rick, thank you for calling in. And you know what? Listen, I love it. Oh, ring that bell. I love it. I'm going to tell you why. Because, Rick, I have strived for 8 years to be in this position. You know what God told me? God told me you're going to have haters. You're going to have people who don't want to see you win, and I love it. Thank you so much, Rick. You want to know why? Because I've had Oprah back me up. Want to know why? Because I have a bunch of celebrities back me up currently. Want to know why? Because I have family members who back me up. Want to know why? Because I have the station manager, Mark Hayes, who backs me up. I have friends, and you know what? I deserve to be in this position. And I'm going to tell you this. I hold myself so accountable. Hey, Willie Toy said, no, he didn't. Hey, I'm glad he did. Because you know what? That makes sense. Want to know why it makes sense? Because he stated that he's watched and listened to my show since the beginning. That means I'm doing something right. He said he listens to my show on the toilet. That means I'm doing something right. Rick takes his time out of his day to pay attention to me, Jamie D. I have put on social media so many times that the Jamie D Show will be a positive household name, and I'm so grateful for my haters and my supporters. This is how you know this is a real live morning radio show. This isn't a podcast. This isn't pre-recorded. And some people will be like, why would you let him keep going? Because I want you guys to hear that. I want you to know what fuels my battery. I am so grateful to be in this position. I thank Mark Hayes for giving me the opportunity to be here to prove myself. I thank God for telling me that I'm ready for this. I thank myself for pushing for my master's in broadcast journalism. The work I put in to make sure that I have a well-tailored show, to make sure that I'm hitting my marks, to make sure that I'm talking about things that matter to the people. And I appreciate you, Rick. Thank you. Seriously. It didn't hurt my feelings. It made me realize that I'm doing something right. My parents raised me right, and they told me that when you have people who are trying to break you down, that is a setup for you building higher and higher. So keep going. Shout out to my parents for raising me right. Hey, all right. So if nobody else wants to call in at 702-221-7283 or comment on social media, hey, I appreciate it. But we're going to move on real quick because I got to bring up Mark Hayes. That was a social issue of the day. Stick around. We're going to take a quick break. And again, call in. Hater, motivator, supporter, 702-221-7283. I'll take your call. We can have a discussion. You can tell me whatever you think. But guess what? At the end of the day, you listen to me. At the end of the day, you put money in my pockets. At the end of the day, you make me more of who I want to be. So thank you. Listen to the Jamie D Show live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. I'm on every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST. And like you heard my hater/motivator say, I've been on for a month and I'm still here. Yes, sir. Make sure to stick around. I'll be right back. We're going to bring Mark Hayes on, who is the general manager of KSHP and a radio personality for KSHP, who's going to talk everything radio, everything about his journey into the industry, how it's important, and what does KSHP even mean? What's the history behind KSHP? KSHP. Wow. Stick around. It's Jamie D. I'll be right back.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Moles Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Moles was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom & Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
At AR Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Zen World Premium CBD offers full and broad spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Range Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Moles Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Moles was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom & Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
Welcome back to the Jamie D Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. I know y'all heard me. I said I'm coming back right now because guess what? I'm here. Yes, I'm here. Not only am I here, I'm here to stay. If you're just now tuning in, you missed the daily news headlines. We talked about if social media can affect relationships. I said it can affect it positively and negatively, more so negatively than it can positively. And now we're going to bring back Mark Hayes, who is the KSHP general manager and radio personality for KSHP, who's about to join me live to discuss the history of KSHP, how radio is still important in today's culture, and how he got to start in radio. And somebody just actually called and said, "Wait, why are y'all bringing back Mark? Do you not have anybody else?" And I'm gonna tell you why. Mark, you got your camera on? You getting it put on. But before I put his camera, I'm gonna tell you why I'm bringing this man on. I'm bringing this man on because it's important for you guys to understand the history behind KSHP. The Jamie D Show wouldn't be the Jamie D Show without KSHP. Again, this is a real live morning radio show. This isn't a podcast. This is a real live morning radio show. And I want you guys to know the people that back me up. I want you guys to know the people who are supporting me. And I also want you guys to understand that this is a social issue. I'm gonna tell you why it's a social issue. Because people see you do something once and if they're like, "Oh, this is great," and then it immediately becomes normal to them. Yeah, you heard me. It becomes normal to them. And they stop supporting you. They stop being there for you. And I don't want that to happen. I want you to realize, I want everybody to realize that what I got going on is important. I've been working towards this for 8 years. And my thing is, it's not always about me. It's about the team that supports me. And I wanted to take the time to make time for this team that supports me. Trust me, I have a lot of guests. I have people knocking down my email doors and my team's emails doors to get on the show. But every day does not need to be about somebody else when it can be about the team that truly supports me. So virtually clap it up for the general manager for KSHP and a radio personality for KSHP, Mark Hayes. Woo!
Yeah, I'm back. And so Rick, I just want to address Rick real. I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. We want to thank you, Rick, you're listening. You took the time to dial the number. Yep. You took the time to give your remarks and comments. That's what we thrive on. I got here by meeting people like you, Rick, and Jaime is doing the same thing. So continue to listen, continue to call in with your comments, and tell your friends, tell your family, tell other people to listen in too, because obviously it's something about the show that you like. So thanks, Rick.
Facts. Well, I appreciate that, Mark. Welcome back in for apparently the third time, because you can never have a guest on more than once.
Well, at least Rick knows. Listen, he's been watching this, so
right. I appreciate
borderline one.
I appreciate it. So, Mark, I want you to talk about KSHP. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you know that I've been in the community a lot. I got booked to cover the pink carpet at the BET Awards. I got booked to cover. I got booked to do my live morning radio show from Essence Fest. Shout out to Tracy Holloway, who is the CEO and owner of the Way Up Creative, who made that happen for me. And I get invited out to a bunch of fancy, exclusive, rich, and uppity stuff here in Vegas. And I'm super, super grateful. However, I hear often these two things. "Oh, there's so much that happens in Vegas. I didn't know your true intentions behind wanting to get me on the show or who you were." Or two, I'll say, "Hey, my name is Jamie D. I'm a live morning radio personality for KSHP." And they'll say, "Oh, so you have a podcast?" And I'm sitting here just like, again, no offense to podcasts, but I said I have a radio show. And I gave you the call letters. I do not have a podcast. And the reason why I say no offense to podcasts, there's nothing wrong with podcasts. It's just the fact that I've worked for this position for so many years. Respect my title. Respect what I work for. Respect my credibility. So I want you to talk about this before you get into everything else. Mark, why is radio so important in today's climate?
To me, it's just where do most people spend most of their time, right? Pre-pandemic, now post-pandemic, people are in their cars, driving to work, driving around, driving kids, dropping kids off. And with our new launch of 107.1 FM, that gives people an even bigger reach. AM is considered the sports and talk radio. People listen for sports and talk, which is politics, which is social events and things like that. And then sports, you get a lot of sports talk on AM radio. So most cars, I think now the newer cars are kind of trying to go away with radio and trying to eliminate AM radio. And so I think that's where people have kind of gotten consumed with the podcasting and not listening to radio, because they either are listening to their XM, they're listening to FM. So for us, what it has created is another opportunity to capture more listeners and more people listening, because when you get in your car, the first thing people do is turn on, if they are listening to radio, it's FM, right? And that's kind of norm, because they're not, if they listen like me, I get in the car and it's on AM already. Now FM already, because it goes right to our station, because I gotta listen and hear what's going on at our station even when I'm not here. So I think just the normal person that jumps in their car, it's on FM, because when I drive or when people drive, they want to listen to music, right? You want to listen to, music or listen for a giveaway, right? And so that's kind of what FM has created. With us being on AM, it's very unique, because we have this thing called the Radio Shopping Show, and no other station in this city can say they have a unique channel where you can actually listen and find out what's the newest shows, what's the best place to get discounts, what's the best place to get deals, how do you get discounted gift certificates, how do you get gift cards at a reasonable price. And so that's what makes us unique with KSHP, which was established in 1954.
Now, real quick, Mark, but before you go too far into this, because that's some good content right there. Real quick. So you made a really good point, as you were saying, that people get into their car and it's either set to AM or FM, right? I'm gonna call a spade. Mine is set to my aux cord.
Right. My kids are do the same thing. I think this is a generation. And just to kind of elaborate on that, I think it is because as soon as my kids get in the car or get in their car, they plug it in their aux, and it's their music playing. They listen to AM or FM if I'm in the car with them, right? And that's just like, we gotta listen to Dad's station real quick.
Facts. I'm gonna tell you this. So I've always, like I said, I've been working towards radio for 8 years now. Technically 11, but I say 8 because I was out of college at that point. And I listened to radio on and off because I was trying to get the experience. I worked the radio station, so I maybe listen to the radio more. And radio is very nostalgic to me and my family. But I can also say that I understand the true reality of my generation, and we're so quick to just listen to the newest song, go onto our phones, and I catch myself doing that as well. So I have to remind myself, hold on, wait, remember, listen to your craft, listen to your show, support your fellow people. And so I can see why people don't see radio as such a huge thing anymore. Right. And I kept saying this, I don't have any beef with podcasts. I'm gonna tell you why. Because podcasts, to me, and to me, if you're agree or not, is the new radio. Right. People are listening to podcasts heavy. Yes. People are putting their podcasts on their aux cord. Right. Because not only can you listen to it on the radio, but you can listen to it on YouTube. You can watch it at home. You watch it on your phone. So I understand why podcasts is such a huge thing. And I support podcasters. I love podcasters. My show turns into a podcast when I put it on social media. Right. But I fight so heavy for the radio part because I personally believe radio is still influential. Yeah. I personally believe radio is still powerful. I personally know podcasts wouldn't be podcasts if it wasn't for the radio. For radio, right. And so for me, I want to keep that love, that light, and that credibility alive. And like I said, it's nothing against podcasters, but respect my title, respect the job that I worked for. Right. Because a lot of times podcasters, the difference I would say between both is that they don't really have a backing outside of just their online supporters. Right. You have a station that not only when you make your radio show a podcast, you have the online supporters, but you have an AM and FM dial that podcasters don't have the access to. They don't have it. And I just want to make sure people remember that, again, this is why I fight for telling people not a podcast, a radio show. Yeah. And let's be honest, podcasts are breaking a lot of barriers and they're getting posted on social media a lot and they're doing a lot of great things. But what does it also come back to? When a radio personality like The Breakfast Club or a radio show like The Breakfast Club or Ricky Smile in the Morning does something, that gets even more views, that gets put out there. And so I want to show people that we still have a chance, we're still fighting, we're still there. So I wanted to put that in there. Yeah. But you made a great segue, and I want you to get back to that. Talk about the history of KSHP and who we are. Yeah, all right. So KSHP started off as a little small, just kind of station where we did it was kind of a neighborhood station when it first started. It was more or less people would come in and bring items. Oh wow! And we would sell them to other listeners. So it's kind of like a neighborhood
what do you call the yard sale?
You said it started in the 1950s?
1954.
Oh,
It actually went
wow.
live with KSHP in 1988, and then they changed the signal. It started off at it was KSHO. All right, and so then it went to KSHP in 1996. That's when it officially changed the call letters. But
Right.
it started the way it real started, and the way how it just kind of evolved is we were actually the first game in almost I don't want to say the US, but a pretty big part of the country. We were the first to do live radio and sell merchandise
Really?
to
Wow.
people online, on air. So people were able to call in. So you would come in and say, "Hey, Mark, I got this couch. I'm moving. Can you sell it for me? And we'll give you a percentage of the proceeds." And so we would have people listening that seen that couch. We would be promoting and talking about it, and people will buy that couch.
Right.
So it started off kind of as just selling neighborhood person to person.
Okay.
And then it evolved into promoting businesses. So we went out and started getting businesses. Before there was a Groupon, before there was a restaurant.com, before there was a daily deal on any sites, you had the radio shopping show.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know that because it was promoted, but it wasn't promoted nationally, right? It wasn't like a national promotion that we did. We got 3 stations that do the same thing that we do here in Vegas and 2 in Chicago.
Okay.
And so it became a source for the small businesses like the mom and pop businesses to be able to promote their business without charging them no money, because we never charge people money.
Okay.
We just do it in trade. If you got a business and you want to promote it, you want us to talk about it like we do on the radio, to a big number of people, because what our listeners are doing is they got their hand on their pocket. They're waiting to find the next best deal or the next best show or the next water park or a dining certificate, with prices being so high now with inflation and with grocery stores just keeping their prices sky high. For I was in the grocery store 3 days ago and I bought 3 items. It was $52. I was like, did I scan the wrong multiple times? And then she was like, nope. She was like, 3 items and it was $52.
Right.
And I was like, wow. So 6-10 items, you're spending over $100. So that's very unaffordable for people now, right? And it's so what that brings me to is that what we're doing is not only helping small businesses. I work with about 15 hotels on the Strip. So it's not just small businesses, but our main focus is the small mom and pop business, because a person can start a business. That don't mean they know how to keep a business running.
Facts.
Right. Because money, that don't mean they know how to market. And some people think, let me just open my door. Everybody got the best food, right? Everybody can do the best haircut. Everybody can sell the best t-shirt, right? But they don't know how to market their business. And that's kind of where K-Shop comes in, is like, all right, Mark, I'm going to give you these amount of gift cards or gift certificates or service or products, whatever they may have. And I go on the radio to a built-in audience of over 2,000 to 3,000 people listening a week. I got over 14,000 people on email blast.
Right.
I got over 600 on Text Club.
Mark, can I tell you this real quick? The supporters for K-Shop are insane. And I mean the good way.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. So if y'all listening now, I'm like that.
No, it's good and bad way.
Hard.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep positive. They support hard.
Yes.
They come in. I've even had people who say, like, hey, I've been listening to K-Shop for years and I heard your show coming out. I've been listening. I had a guy come in and literally congratulate me.
Right.
It was such a great feeling. But
yeah,
I remember when I first got hired here and I was super confused. After the interviews and sending the emails of my resume and stuff, I was super confused. I was like, I don't get what K-Shop is. Wait, how is my show going to be here? Yeah. I was really confused. And then I remember when you came here and you were like, hey, yo, K-Shop is the QVC for radio. And I was like, what?
Right.
And then I saw in a person, I'm like, we know QVC is huge.
Huge.
Right, actually, funny enough, I actually had an audition for them.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's so similar. Like we just on the radio and
right. But y'all have a huge reach.
We got a lot of people.
People don't play about that.
I mean, you figure we changed the first time we aired was 1954. Wow. Right. And now here we are in 2023.
Still going strong.
And still, I mean, we beat COVID. I've seen a lot of my counterparts. I got a lot of friends in radio here in this town and television, that you in passing, they know you and they know of you. And there were a lot of businesses in my industry or our industry that folded. that went off the signal. And we're a small station. We're not like this big corporate station, right?
You're gonna be.
And so we did something that most station wouldn't have been able to do.
Right.
We stayed open. I didn't lose one air time. I got COVID. So I got COVID, and that was the first time in 13 and a half years that I didn't do an on-air show.
So let's talk about that, because one thing I really appreciate is the fact that, like you said, we're small but mighty, and we're gonna get bigger. You got the Jamie D show.
We're
now.
tough, man.
We gonna reach new heights,
nails. If you can, I think if you got through COVID, no matter how business. A lot of people did lose their lives, unfortunately. But if as a small business of under 10 people, right, to able to get through COVID, I'm talking about the whole 2020, other than a few people here, we kind of came through with COVID, but other than that, Jamie, we did not go off the air once.
That's beautiful.
In 2 years, and people like, Mark, how'd you do it?
Right.
It wasn't what Mark did. It was something the team did, and you've been here a couple of months now, and you see how I operate us, right? It ain't Mark, it's us. Because if you do well, Jamie, we all do well. If I do well in bringing these businesses, everybody does well, and they keep their job.
I bring you on because you're a part of the team.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be me without you.
Right
now, talk about this. I know we got a few minutes left.
Yes.
How did you get your start in radio?
It was hard. It was tough. It was difficult. I was an athlete, and I still am a big part of the sports world. But I played football, and I went to NFL tryouts. I went to Canada. I went to Arena League for a couple of years. So I did the rounds of trying to play ball because I knew I could play, right? I just needed an opportunity. And unfortunately, I have my daughter, who you see a lot. My oldest, she comes here in the summer and just kind of helps dad out.
But so cool.
Yeah, so she comes here in the summer and just kind of lends a helping hand until the fall when she starts back teaching. So we kind of fast forward, not to get into the whole history, but I knew if I wasn't going to play football, I wanted to either train kids, coach kids, or do radio. And it was just like anything. I had to punch down a lot of doors, got a lot of opportunities that came my way, and then finally got here and brought me in. I had 10 interviews, which is a lot.
That's right. I'm about to say
10 interviews.
More than I
after
got.
after the fourth and fifth, I was like, wait a minute, is this just me wasting my gas coming from Henderson here? What was but it was just like a fraternity. They wanted you to be, even though a small station. I can imagine what an interview process is with some bigger stations.
And I've been through a few of them.
Yeah, and then it's strenuous. You're like,
honest, it's vigorous.
You got to have this.
It's like I'm trying to get into Harvard.
Yeah, so but it's a small fraternity. I see now why it was so the way it was, right? Because one thing about radio, too many people don't leave radio because you can kind of do radio.
They stay in their job for the rest of their lives.
As long as you can talk, as long as you can keep an audience. And so for me personally, I was like, I want to do, something broadcasting sports. So I started off, doing sales for the radio shopping show, bringing businesses, going out, meeting people, shaking hands. And that's how I met over hundreds of business owners
Mark,
throughout the valley, and people know me and I know them. Again, even if it's by name, I've been running this station now for 7 years now. And so I was able to build my way and start I was emptying trash, getting coffee. I'm just doing things I wouldn't make people do. And I was just like, this ain't even a part of my job title. Y'all ain't paying me. You ain't even paying me enough to get the coffee, but let alone telling me to empty trash. But I did it because I was like, all right, it's a bigger picture. And so I did that for a couple of years. And then we had some sports. Then I became the voice of, I did USC. I did the Los Angeles Dodgers. I did the Chicago Bears. You were a reporter for them? I did the pre and post game here locally.
Oh, nice.
So
through the station?
Yeah. So anytime they, when they had the games, we would either talk an hour before or an hour after. And then I did the BYU Cougars, which is football. I've done some stuff with pretty much a lot of the professional, some Chargers, some the Rams. So I've done a lot of analyzing and networking with a lot of the professional teams and college teams, and so now that was kind of my start. That was my breakdown. I got in, and I became.
Were you doing that as a freelancer, or did you have an actual show at that point?
No, it was just a post and pregame show for whatever game was playing.
And they put it on the air.
And then they would run it, whatever city, whatever they were in, they would re-air it. So that's kind of how I did that for 6 years. And then I kind of became locally the voice of the Dodgers, the voice of the Bears, and then so people would see me out and they would be like, man, I was listening to the station and you guys did a good job with the pre and post game. So that was kind of how it, and then from there, the opportunity presented itself to become a general manager. And this was, 10 years later and, 9 years later. And, hey, it was like, opportunity. And I got a lot of other opportunities to go other stations, make a little bit more money. And, but I didn't want to give up my happiness for money.
Right.
And, I'm happy with what I got and where I'm at and where I became. And right now, I want to just help other people like yourself, other people that come in, interns, just help them. I've kind of fulfilled my goals and my dreams. So I want to see others obtain their goals and, just take me along for the ride.
Right. Mark, so we're pretty much out of time, but I want to end with this real quick. Some people were asking me, what does Mark mean when he says you remind him of a little what'd you say? I remind you of younger you.
Me.
What do you mean by that?
What I meant by that was that you just came in with this light, and that was the same way, just bug eye, just you've been in the business, but you haven't really been in the business.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you are now. Now it's like this is your show. You got to make sure you got good content. And that's how I was, because I was just like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to build my platform, because it's not like we talked before, we talk about race. It's not a lot of Black people in this industry, especially not at management levels, right? And there's a lot of them in there because they were either a comedian, they were either a radio person, or either a TV guy, and then turn the radio, you know what I mean? So it has something to do with that too. But just to come from the ground floor, it's very tough for us. And that's why anybody on, us, I'm going to give everybody an opportunity. But if I see somebody with some potential like you had, I'm like, you could be the next general manager of this station or another station, or having your own show at a bigger market. And that's what I want to see, is you be in a bigger market and have a bigger station and be national and not just local. So
well, receive, accept, and claim that, Mark. I really appreciate you for your support. And like I've always said, the Jamie D is going to reach new global and amazing heights, but I won't forget about you, Mark. You're gonna be right with me.
No. I'm gonna be right with me. I'm gonna be here, man, just smiling in the background. I'm like the producer. I'm like the executive director. I want to be the director behind the camera now.
Well, I appreciate you.
Scenes.
Thank you so much for coming back on today.
No worries, man.
You were just now tuned into the Jamie D Show live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. I'm on every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST. Make sure to come back tomorrow. I'll be here. Hey, have a good rest of your day. Peace out. What's up, everybody? You were just tuned into the Jamie D Show, live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. If you aren't in the Las Vegas area, you can catch my show live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at The Jamie D Show. That's TheJaimedEesshow. If you want to advertise your business on my show, email us at info@jamied.com. Thank you all so much for your support. See you tomorrow.